Hi. We are live.
What? Are we doing another one of these?
Oh yeah.
It's only been like a week.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? We normally have like a time schedule of like, I don't know, like a month, maybe 2 months between each other.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's too fast. Can we call this off? Can we do this like next week?
Yeah, we'll see you everybody on the next stream.
Yeah,
For context, he actually left the Discord call where it happened. It's almost as if it's a weekly podcast. Now, hey, now, don't count the chickens before they hatch. Anyway, welcome everybody to
Wait,
what?
Were you gonna say don't count the kitchens before they hatch?
Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Starry Eyes stream. I'm Sprite Star Maker of Olympio, and we have Wish Stream creator Astra and Geek the creator Marlo. They've also made other things, but I still only made Olympia, so I'm only crediting them for their most, yeah. Anyway, we got a lot of submissions that got submitted in because of a lot of backlog. But hey, this is gonna be pretty great. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of tips and tricks for you guys, so you guys can improve your animations here on out. So let's go ahead and begin. Oh yeah, now I remember we got the big shark from last time. All right.
Oh yeah.
Didn't we already did that?
Yeah. It's still, I didn't get rid of the files this time, so it was still there from the last time.
What am I doing up there?
Oh yeah, because you were pointing
down.
you were pointing out the stray pixel. But it's fine.
I'm being accosted.
But yeah, let's get you down here. There you go. All right. Geek is very afraid of heights, which is weird because he's a spider. Anyway, we got more. Where to go? There it is. I remember now. We blew it up by like 5 times, like 7,000, for the sake of a joke. But
oh god, I saw that on the stream.
Yep.
He's lurking.
Oh, so guys, I improved the stream a little bit, so there's like a little bit of a latency this time.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
It's almost real time. Nudge, wink, wink.
But yeah. Our first submission is a Metal Mario Punch. I'm guessing this is some sort of counter move or something like that.
It's probably his down B.
Probably.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like you have a down B that gives you like super armor for a bit before you punch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you try to punch them, you'll most likely have broken knuckles.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so who's starting off this one?
Yeah, go.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Shit. Well, first off, where's the outline? Does it intentionally not have an outline to mimic Super Mario 64's lack of outlines because it's 3D? Or did you just not know?
Yeah,
We can't get answers from that. Goodbye, everybody.
There's a pretty good rule of thumb for rivals when it comes to like making the pixel art, and that's the black outlines on everything. It just looks better. It's consistent, and for the sake of having your mod be consistent with other mods, and also have it look nice, and a black outline around your sprites is great. If you're using...
There's something said about this. Hold on. Where is it?
Yeah.
Apparently they're gonna add the outline later.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And apparently it's a side strong or neutral special for this not as speedy SM64 Mario.
Ah. Neat.
Neat.
in terms of like actual animation critique, besides the outline thing, which is just it's an easy fix of an art. It's a little stiff. I like the weight on it. Like it actually feels like a heavy punch, but it feels like his head doesn't move, his torso doesn't twist. You're afraid of redrawing things, which is a common thing. But like,
Here we got spaghetti arms, a really stiff right foot.
I mean, the spaghetti limbs are fine. Like in Mario 64, his fist grows to the size of the rest of his body when he punches. Like,
That's fair. But it's
cartoon
like,
effects are in full force here.
I guess. It's just noticeably curvy, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Somewhat.
And also like the right foot. I don't know why it looks stiff too.
A little, yeah.
And when we're looking at it from, like, all right, if we imagine like someone doing this actual like pose, there's a lot of lack of knees bending here, and that's what makes this look way more stiff than it needs to.
Yeah.
The step forward, or rather the slide forward, is really nice, but you have the upper body like moving forward while the lower half is still pretty much stationary and is only like shifting along with the top half, which if you're looking at, if you try to replicate that, like your knees would like get blown out from trying to bend inward. You gotta remember that there's bones there. Even in 3D models, where like in Super Mario 64, they have to, bend at certain joints. That's why they're called That's why they're called bones in 3D. So just keeping that in mind a lot. I think what makes this really stiff looking is there's like no curving, like there's no body turning here, right?
Yeah.
It shows impact, but you could do a lot more impact by just turning the body before you go into the swing, like inward, and then you turn outward to follow along with the punch, and that will just I'll give it more weight, because now your shoulder is pulling the rest of the torso with it, because you're swinging the arm so hard. Like, that's like visually it's very striking, it's very impressive, right? And it gives off weight. You have a lot of weight here. I like that you did the big arm, the big hand. It's a good touch.
Yeah.
But as far as like the posing, I think that's where you could do a lot more work with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
you know what it just reminds me of? Like the pose itself. It's kind of like when they actually do the punch, they look like they're leaning into a computer screen or something.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's what I'm reminded of. What you gonna say, Pete?
Like the arms themselves are fine. Like I can see there's a bit of an implication of the shoulder actually twisting there, like on the front facing arm, like the camera facing arm. But that's not reflected in the head or the torso or pretty much anywhere else. Like, again, I can tell you're afraid to redraw stuff. You gotta bite that bullet, dude.
Yeah.
Once you, like, actually draw the torso kind of, like, twisting towards the camera and then away from the camera, it's gonna look a lot better. Plus, like, after you actually do that, when you're working on other animations, you have more reference to pull from.
Yeah.
Instead of just being stuck with the single pose and it looks like it's being animated in Flash or something.
Yeah. To Joshua in the chat, we are trying. It's ideal to keep this more weekly, but with certain current situations and everyone's just personal situation, there was a little bit of a delay. But we're pushing for it. We're pushing for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
yeah, I think that's it for this, unless you guys have more comments on it.
You're doing a pretty good job with like how you're wanting to animate.
Yeah.
It's very clear what your vision is for this Mario, and you're doing a pretty good job at it. But the thing that's holding you back is, like Geek said, just like the fear of like redrawing things.
Yeah. To
Buttercup, your submission will have to wait until we get past the queue that we already have, because we're about we're kind of a month behind here, so yeah. Sorry about that, but once we get caught up and all that stuff, no, Buttercup, not Butterfly. Yeah, but once we get past that, yeah,
Which is pretty close.
yeah, the ones that have the reactions are the ones that we're like making sure those are the ones we tackle next. Like, that's to make sure that we don't get mixed up.
Anyway,
But
back to large squares.
let us talk about how one square moves to a different position, so it'll be not next to the other square. Okay.
That's fucked up, right?
I know, right? It's weird.
We're just moving squares. What the fuck?
Okay, where is it? I did literally post. Okay, there it is. All right, now we got our favorite artillery clap coming back. He's doing a good turn. It's pretty determined. All right, yeah, we got ourselves a down strong, and honestly, it's a pretty great animation here. Artillery Crab has always got. This is like what, the fourth time this character's been on the stream, and it's every time it's been super surprising.
Also, this time they're fully sprited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not neon.
We actually get to see them in their full glory. I love it.
Oh yeah, they have a name now too.
What's their name?
Their name is Colonel Brock or Brack. I don't know how to pronounce it, even though I actually suggested the name. I just looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh my god.
We got the Colonel in the stream.
Yeah.
Colonel.
Colonel.
Anyways, Colonel Brock. There we go. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pass this over to you guys, because I'm personally super floored by this. Like, I just love how this turned out.
On a large scale, I don't have any critiques. This is like, I have a loose sort of definition of the term flawless. This is a flawless animation. It doesn't that doesn't mean like you cannot improve it, like no art will be better than this. I just mean like there's no glaring issues.
Yeah, it's one of those like where it's like almost perfect already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to find any nits.
In this moment in time, right? In this moment of your pixel art, like arsenal, I guess. This is pretty top notch. That could be something completely different, like a month from now, right? Like, you would probably like finish this character and you would look back on this as like, man, why did those people say that this animation was good? I could have done a lot better. Like, don't get it twisted. That is something that you can. That's something that's going to happen. I should know I'm making Olympia again.
And I should know I'm making Astra again.
Yeah, like we all improve over time, and you always go back to this. As far as this goes, this is a solid submission. This is a solid animation. Don't think that this is your peak like skill. Like, trust me, the more you work on this, the better you get, and you're gonna look back on this. It's like, I could have done this a lot better. We got Olympia and Astra 2 in the chat. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, small opinions, right?
Go.
Like, this is like a minor nitpick, really. It's really about the how you do shading, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell like you already know your fundamentals and everything, but when it comes to circular shapes, right? When it comes to circular shapes, there are different ways that light is projected onto the character. You may want to start looking to that actually, because like some parts look flat, some parts don't. And not gonna lie, this is like really good already. Like extremely good, right? But if you want to bring it all the way in, learn about how shading works on different items, shapes, and everything else. Like this is like going into like almost 3D knowledge in a sense. It's really just like, okay, where's the part that's actually covered by shadow, right?
Yeah.
For example, like the base of the hat, that should be covered by the top of the hat, or like the claws, there should be like a tiny shadow on the top of the claw, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But that's just minor improvements. You could just do it over time and something you could learn.
Yeah.
Because right now this is like really good.
Yeah.
And this is like normally what we all say it's a pass.
Yeah.
Right? You've already like passed through that like rite of passage from us. If not, we're not gonna lie. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very, very, literally just a pixel critique. On the idle pose, there's an outline missing on his arm on the right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Wait, hold on. I think that's just connected to the actual claw. I thought that was overlapping on, but it is just going by pretty fast, so it was hard to see. Oh yeah. I'm looking at the idle frame by itself. Yeah, the outline isn't missing. Disregard me.
We all make mistakes. I made like 7 mistakes on this podcast. Anyway, moving on to the next submission. Good submission.
Good submission.
Moving over to the next.
Good submission.
Yeah. We got an antagonist from one of my favorite RPGs in the Mario series. And no, it is not Super Mario RPG. It is from Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Well, all sprites started searching for that.
Ah!
Buttercup and everyone who's trying to submit here.
There it is.
Please do not attempt to submit something last minute. You'll most likely end up getting to the next one, right?
Yeah.
We usually have a limit of how many sprites we try to tackle.
Yeah,
otherwise
we'd have like a 3-hour stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise we have like a 3-hour stream.
Like,
normally we tackle like 4 to 8 sprites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And don't bury yourself in that. Sometimes we don't. Just realize that sometimes we're new to the series too.
Yeah.
Right? You're new to the series too, and you kind of learn on the way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
anyway.
and also don't worry about like not having your submissions put in. Like hopefully you can look at what we're reviewing and critiquing, and you'll sit here and be like, I wonder if I can do that with my pixel art, and then you do it, and then you improve on that way. Like any information works.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and you could use that.
Hey, look at the venue.
Oh hey, it's the ultimate show.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's a great song, by the way. Honestly, for an idle animation, it is pretty nice, but there's still like some glaring issues for me, mainly it's the cloak cape thing. I don't understand what the physics is going on for here. Like, there's a lot of like fabric flapping, but only on one part of the body, like one part of the cloth, and that's at the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand why that's moving, but nothing else is. And then the same for the collar and like the two little like jingle jangles on the hat. Like, I don't know. It's a lot of motion, but it's a lot of unnecessary motion. There's a lot of motion that really doesn't gel well with like the motion that's going on. It's pretty sporadic compared to like it just being kind of a gentle going up, gentle going down kind of thing. It's not like he's like hopping like 20 feet in the air and coming back down. It's kind of weird actually. But yeah.
Like, I can see what you were going for. It's a lot of like secondary animation with just stuff like bouncing and making it look more lively.
Mm-hmm.
Good attempt. It's a little inconsistent though. Like, keep at it. Like I can tell if you just like practice that a little more, that it'll end up perfect.
Yeah.
But it's pretty inconsistent. For example, the side hat things are bouncing, but the top one isn't, and also the two yellow corner ones aren't moving at all, so it's a weird sort of like inconsistency on like, is it floppy or is it?
Yeah.
Same with the cloak, like Spar mentioned, it's like the tail ends of it are flopping, but the rest just seems kind of glued down.
Yeah.
And in addition to that sort of the thing about it, they kind of bounce a little too much. Like, generally when something is just following physics and not, like, if it's just, like, following them and being pulled by gravity and all that stuff, it usually doesn't go higher than where it started. Like, if they're moving down and, like, their cloak follows them or whatever, it usually doesn't go above their starting point.
Yeah.
And like the side spangly thingies on his hat, like, jump up a few pixels when he starts going down, which is weird. Like, what's happening to them? What's pushing them up?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Either you guys have anything else to add to that?
Let's see. I mean, you guys pretty much said what I have to say. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
other than like, I don't know, the top bell doesn't seem to move at all, which is weird.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
It's just there. It's a bobbing up and down.
Yeah, there's a lot of selective motion going on. And a way that you could like fix that, instead of having the tail of the, like, even in, you can keep the jingle jangles going on, right? Like, I think that's fine, but you just need to move the top jingle jangle too, so it's all jingle jangling. As far as like the cloak, instead of moving the tail in and saying, okay, the code is moving because that's going, instead move the pixels on the ends of it, so it could kind of do like a very subtle like wave kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like move the inside lines with it as well. Also, kind of a nitpicky thing, there's a lot of lavenders. I'm picking out at least like 3 shades here. I would probably simplify it down to 2. 3 is max. I'm not sure if it's like just 3 or if I'm like if it's just like my monitor being weird.
There's 3 and then there's like a 4th when it borders against the yellow.
Yeah. Reduce that down to 3 max. 2 is 2 is ideal. 3 is max if you really want to show like detailing or whatever.
Yeah.
But do not go past 3. Like it just looks very cluttered. And trust me, when you're actually doing animations, of this, and it's not just a stationary like pose or just been there, whatever. Then it just gets very complicated.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, so just 2 to 3 is the money area. Only go for 4 if that's the only color that you're using, like with Daedalus.
Yeah.
But, you know, the color composition and all that stuff. Yeah, instead of just having the tail ends, like, going up and down, just move the sides of it to have more of a flow to it. And the same for the trim, like the fuck. Okay.
Welcome back, Spar.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. My internet shat itself. Hey.
Well, welcome back. Welcome to episode 15.
Yeah. Episode 14, 2.
Part 2.
Hell yeah.
Just change the stream title to episode 14.2.
It's still the same stream, dude.
Yeah, so it's still the same stream. It's just gonna be a little dip in the middle. But it's fine.
Yeah,
just like a slight jump in the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. We're just in an alternate timeline.
Yeah, no, we're in the future now. Yeah, move the cloak instead of moving the ends of it by doing like a little wave. Have the detailing in the middle of the cloak follow it as well, and then it'll show it being cloaked better than what you got right now, and it'll probably be easier to animate instead of trying to, you know, make up gravity. Subtle motion. Only move like a couple of pixels at a time. Don't do like a ghost kind of like motion. You don't need that. But yeah. Anything anybody else want to say about?
I do. Okay.
Go.
So like the post kind of like suggests like when you lift your like foot, right? You lift your foot like that. You kind of shift forward a little bit, and then when you put it down, you just shift back.
Oh yeah, it
So
just
we were
snaps.
Yeah. So it's not just like, okay, I just do that pose immediately. I just shoot up, like straight. No, you shift forward a little bit. So
Yeah.
try to have that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just literally just shifting up. Pixel.
Well, here's a question to come out of all of this critique. Are you using a lot of layers? Because it doesn't look like you're using a lot of layers.
Sweats and Sprite Star.
Yeah, I'm making a call out post. Because like a lot of the inconsistency I'm noticing is kind of the struggle of single layer stuff. Like the hands kind of disappear, and like the legs don't move, and that's why kind of the cloak is like the cloak isn't mostly animated or whatever. Like if you separate things into lots of layers, you can easily animate it by just shifting stuff around.
That's how I animate. I'm just faking it.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of tiny little like glitches there. Like the hand on the right, like for one frame there's a gap in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also the left hand on the for one frame just kind of like disappears for a bit. I don't know if that's a perspective thing, but still layers. You can make things look a lot more consistent with them. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I think that's.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to submit on this. So I think this is good.
Yeah.
Let us go to this other one, and unfortunately, I have the displeasure of showing this one on stream. I didn't realize what was going on until we were talking about it like pre live stream, and it's a fucking meme. So yeah, I don't know who did this. Fucking show yourself. I want to know who decided.
I mean, they posted it in the Discord.
I really want to know what compelled you to do the Ricardo meme for your Parry animation.
Oh my gosh.
It's I mean, we're gonna review it. But yeah.
Joshua. I wonder who.
If I find you on friendlies, I'm gonna lose 2-0 because I'm bad at the game, but I'm gonna be very angry while I lose. But yeah, we got a Parry animation, a very memey one. I'm gonna pass the first comments off to you because, oh boy, I'm trying.
There's a lot to unpack there. Go Wish.
Shouldn't have made it through customs.
Oh my god. Okay, you know, I'm not gonna lie. The story is really good on its own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like my biggest problem with this, is because it's a good animation and it's also a meme animation. So like,
probably my only gripe here, right? Head turns, light inconsistency.
Oh yeah, it just kind of mirrors, doesn't it?
It just mirrors. Anyway, it's not really much of a problem, really, right? It's like sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do that too. It's just like, it's a large thing though.
yeah.
Right? It's a large thing. But other than that, everything's like, okay, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
you got things done right. Sorry, I can't help it. It's Ricardo.
I like the little detail of the bandana flying off and just doing that little like, I don't really know what to do to make the sprite disappear, so it just shrinks. Rivals does that a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a very Daniel Fernando animation trick.
Yeah.
Although here's the thing, right? I don't notice the bandana right away. Right?
Yeah, it kind of.
It's just like, there we go, right? Maybe like linger a little bit more, or make it a little bit more noticeable. That's a bandana. But it's like right now, it's like.
Yeah, like
it looks like it's just part of their head, and then suddenly it's red.
Yeah, it kind of just looks like a hat, like it's not like a hat bandana, but more like a beanie or something like that. Like that's what I first thought when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Bandanas you tie onto your head, so maybe like the tie at the back of the head will help signify that, and that's just like a couple extra pixels, whatever.
Yeah.
But giving it an extra frame would help. Sorry.
Yeah.
Will help.
A few other things. Make it look like more like a bandana. It's like a bandana doesn't like just cover the head just like that, right?
Yeah.
It also fold. There's also like a fold, and there's like even a tiny knot on the back of the head.
Oh yeah,
You
like
can use
the.
that to, like signify a bandana.
Yeah, you could just manipulate the shading so it will. By like adding extra lines, by just moving around the shade, not like saying adding extra colors. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But just like having it.
Adding creases.
Yeah, like adding creases to the bandana, going towards the tie in the back of the head, and then that will show a bandana a lot better.
Yeah. I actually have a really good reference image for this because I had to study that a lot for when I was designing Malo. Hold on a second, let me find it.
Oh yeah, like Malo's
Yeah, his face mask.
the face mask, yeah. Also, someone in the chat said it makes
Ah.
it look like more like a banana.
Okay.
It's very
I found it.
banana.
Here it is.
God damn it. I just want to have a good time with my friends.
Well, are
Shinji.
you gonna show the useful reference image to the audience?
No. I won't do that.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
just post it in chat.
What an asshole I am, ain't I? Not.
You want
I'm
me
not.
to post this in chat?
I'm. You can post it in chat. I'm not putting it on the screen.
Okay. I'm regretting that.
Sorry, guys, this is a mistake.
But yeah, like even if you look at the bandana there, yeah, look at there's a flap behind there. It's layered too. There's a little tiny creases here and there. You use that as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing in chat you're calling me a coward. Hey, I didn't lose. All right, that's what's important.
Okay. In terms of actual advice for this, I would say make it linger on the colored version of the actual active parry frame.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, the parry itself only lasts 7 frames that, like, in game. Like that's the only time that it's gonna be colored purple. So you can make it linger and make it easier to tell what's going on there before actually doing the wind down animation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, you don't need to do the double outline thickness thing or like recolor the sprite at all because that's just an in-game thing. It does that automatically.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Should we move to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about it.
Please, I would like this aneurysm to go away. All right.
Please continue the memes.
Speaking of memes, actually, it's not a meme, but this is good old Papyrus walking. Papyrus, yes, I said it wrong purposely.
Papyrus. Good old Pappy.
Originally, at first glance, I was like, okay, this needs a lot of work, but it's just like last stream. This one's growing on me. Mainly because it does the thing that I've been like.
I'm not even sure.
This animation does the thing that I've always been campaigning for, like, since the very first Starry Eyes, and that is showing the personality in your animations. To be fair, we've gotten a lot of submissions for that. We got that for Chrono Breck. We got that for Joshua's submission with the Ricardo reference. Like, there's a lot of personality and things going on. And this one shows Papyrus's personality extremely well. You did
it's literally Papyrus.
You did a fantastic job. Keeping in the likeness of Papyrus and turning it into a walking animation, which would be this is something like animation, like animation students get taught in animation college. It's like, okay, make a walk animation, but put as much personality into it as possible. Like, that's one of the first things you learn, and you did that extremely well. Unfortunately, personality alone doesn't carry an animation. It helps it, but it doesn't make it just top tier already. There's a lot of little things that you can do. But I will start off with a good thing. You guys notice the scarf, right? See that back end? That is some beautiful secondary motion right there.
Oh yeah, you got the physics down pat.
That's really good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Wait, were you gonna say something?
What, me? Yeah, no, I was reading the chat.
Okay.
I'll just leave with one critique, and we'll just go down the row. There's a little bit of there's a lack of shoulder turn, and it's not really that important, but I like me a little bit of shoulder turn in these animations. It makes it seem more lively and more realistic. as far as like how the body turns. And that's literally just like moving a pixel forward a frame, and then moving that pixel forward a frame, and then moving it back, and all that good stuff. Yeah, but the walk turn really does help. You do got the general idea down. I will say that. All right, who's next?
Okay.
Go-ish.
Okay. All right. Normally, right? Just because it's fucking Papyrus, right? It's just freaking Papyrus. Like, oh, this is perfect. It could use a little bit more, but it's perfect. It's already. It's like because it's just how Papyrus shows himself. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You got this unusual hero style walk. Tries to be stiff. It tries to do stuff like extremely crazy, and it's the way just how Papyrus carries himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But normally, if normally if it's like a regular animation, it's like I'd go ham. It's like, okay, there's no shoulder turn, the head isn't turning, the legs aren't doing much, and all of those other things. But this is Papyrus, right?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I have a recommendation to like improve this is what Sprite Star said, a little bit of shoulder turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the pose. It's just a little bit of that, a little bit of shifting pixels here and there, and then you're good. If you do it in layers.
Mm.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really not that hard. I mean, I could argue that like the face is like always like blinking every time you move down, but that's a minor thing.
Yeah, nobody's gonna notice that.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Geek?
I agree with all those critiques, and on top of that, I would. Well, first off, the legs, I can't tell which one is the left leg and the right leg. They're in the same spot.
Oh yeah, you could like darken the shade on like the other leg.
That, and you could offset one of the legs, like to the left or the right a little bit, just to make it look like they're on different hips instead of just a single point.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, that, and I do think the arm should be a little less robotic in the like I like the motion there. I just think it could be a little bit snappier. Just like go to the end pose a little faster. Because right now they move pretty much equal distances every frame that they are moving, which, like, that works. But I think it could be improved a little bit by just like starting off fast and then slowing down a little bit to hit the final pose.
Yeah. But
besides that, it's pretty good. It's Papyrus.
yeah, it's Papyrus.
It's Pappy.
Yeah, solid work on this. You really did capture the essence of Papyrus. You're doing a good job with this. All right, let us move over to the next submission, and I know we're gonna make someone very happy in the chat because Psych, you got into the stream. We didn't say anything, but you got in. Yeah, congrats. You did it.
Good job, you did the
in the
thing.
chat. The essence of Papyrus sounds like a fragrance he should sell.
Smells like bones.
Yeah, but
That's an answered. Who posted that? I can't find it in the channel.
Yeah, I can't find it in the channel too. Where'd it go?
Who
Did it get
posted
deleted?
this?
it was Buttercup, and I know because I saw this character be submitted in previously.
Oh.
But I save all the submissions that's posted. That's why we got it there.
Oh, did they delete it afterward?
Yeah, I guess so. Whatever. You're in it.
Too late.
Once you have Starry Eyes, you will not you can't see anything else until the stream's over. Anyway, we got a nice little idle animation for a sand lizard, I believe. Sand lizard, dust lizard, something like that. They control an element.
Lizard.
I honestly, I don't have much to say on it because like the general motion that it's conveying outside of like how the arms are kind of like jittering back and forth like a frame or so. We got a mist lizard. Outside of that, I think this is a pretty solid idle animation.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any like redraw issues with this. I don't see any problems with like the general animation that like I wouldn't like pull my own hair out for. Like this is a good animation. I will say, giving a little bit of anti-aliasing, not anti-aliasing. That's a completely different term. Subpixelation on the legs between going down and going back up would help this animation a lot more. But for that, just some subpixelation on the legs would be my 1 point.
Yeah.
My point is, like, I see the tail's doing a circular motion. I'm not sure if you're gonna try and do that with the actual body too, right?
Yeah.
Like, it looked like you're trying to like bob forward and backward with the body, but the tail's doing a circular motion. It's a bit weird. I was like expecting like a circular motion on the body too, but like it's not really a problem. It's just a minor nitpick.
Like the tail's removed enough from the rest of the body that you can make the excuse that it's like, oh, that's just moving in addition to the body movement.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's like, okay, it's a minor nitpick. Probably just how I view it thing. Other than that, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
We got some more talk in the chat. There's a suggestion that was brought up to have the pose be more dynamic. Though I do agree with that, I always love me some dynamic posing. Like sometimes the dynamic pose is kind of unnecessary, i.e. Olympia's idle animation. That don't make no sense, but I ran with it because I like it. That I would leave that up to you, honestly. If you would like to redo a pose for this, if you would like to repost the thing, you totally go for it, right? Just knock yourself out. But if you think this pose is fine for your character, then stick with it. I really don't see a so big of an issue that you have to, you got to be in like this Sylvanos looking pose or something like that. You don't need to. Like I only do that kind of like reposing stuff because I'm cocky piece of shit, like prideful. Like you don't gotta. It's fine. But yeah, a really good animation here.
Yeah, it's really good. Like the critiques we've given is just nitpicks. It's like a scale of like 3 pixels or something.
Yeah.
Like, overall, it's really good.
Yeah,
but, and in response to the whole dynamic pose thing, like that is a valid critique, but it's not always applicable to like everything. Like if you it can convey a character's personality to be kind of like reserved or just like no nonsense, to be less flashy.
Yeah.
Like the tone I'm getting from this character is just like they just want to get to the point. They don't want to show off or anything.
Yeah. And it also reflects to the personality of the artist themselves. Like For example, me. Y'all saw Olympia. I've done all that I could to go above and beyond, and then I'm gonna do it again. Like, that's just how I am. And then
We gotta set the bar higher.
yeah, and then there's other modders out there. I would even wager this is for Malo, where like the pose is what you expect. It's not being too flashy. It's just like bounce in place. And it does the job, and it does the job extremely well. You don't have to be in a super dynamic pose. You don't have to be all this whatever extra stuff if you're not that extra as a pixel artist personality. Like the only analogy that's coming to mind is like the people in Persona, right? Like how the personas are supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be a reflection of the user, and that's what pixel art is for me. Sorry for being all like weeb in stream. I didn't mean it'll come out this fast, but like
Pixels are an extension of yourself.
But yeah, it's a good submission.
Before
That
I
is.
go to the next one.
Really fucking good. Like, you got the colors down, you got the shading down, proportion. Like, pretty much everything is good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Small suggestion: add a little bob in the head. That's it.
Ooh, yeah. Add a little neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Neck motion.
Just a little dip when he goes down, and then just like bring it back up.
Yeah.
But wait a second before you bring it back up. Like wait a frame. Do some secondary motion. And that will make it look like it's just gonna look natural. Don't worry. Just trust us on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, you can experiment with it, and if you're like, oh, I don't like how that looks, you can just Control Z it. It's literally just moving the layer. It's easy.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're gonna go to our next submission, and honestly, it's gonna be extremely hard to talk about this one. Not because it's so good that it makes me cry myself to sleep tonight, but it's just like a very simple character, and it's a very simple animation to go along with it. We got ourselves a buddy, I'm assuming. Like, this is a
walk animation for the Magic Light Buddy.
Yeah, this is it's a circle going up and down. We can't really critique on the animation. Well, first of all, pillow shading. Let's start there.
I mean, it's light.
The light ain't shaped like a pillow.
I mean, have you seen the source material?
If it's in the center, I mean, like I could see that be like, I don't know, the sun. Like, you just put a baby face there and like say it's from Teletubbies or something.
Yeah, but there's like rays going off of it, and then it's not like a hard gradient. Like it's just one big orange in the air. But getting in semantics.
This is not a speedrun though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Since this is a walking animation, I know the original plan was to say it and be like, we can't critique on it because there's not much of an animation, but something came to mind, and I think what would happen to make this animation look a lot better in game, while not making you redraw every frame of it, just add some sort of like trail off effect. Since it's still like a magic like spear, right? Like it's like a shine sprite or something like that. Like it's a ball of energy. But you can like make an effect and like make an effect that when the buddy is moving, like little parts, like little like specks of light will fall out like behind them, and that would make that's not even like an animation thing. Like you're not supposed to do that in the actual program. You can just do that through the code,
Yeah,
And
just spawn things.
yeah, and it'll look really nice. But that literally just came to me while I was looking at this.
So a few things, right? At least to my end, right? I'm gonna try not to like go into this further because like it's just such a minor thing, right? First of all, I already know that you're restricted by the number of pixels, so you can't do like a sine wave kind of bob motion, which is sad. But if you could try and do that, that'd be amazing. You could do that with subpixel animation, but that's also pretty hard. Bit of sphere. Also, this is one of those times where you don't rely on your program to make a circle, because now it looks like I could tell you used the program to make a circle, and it didn't come out right.
Looks like, yeah, it's angly.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
Same with the shading. Don't follow the general outline. You want to make it sure as round as possible.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Unless you really want to like add a small bob to the face, which also helps. But like, that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
How did you critique a
Also-
circle for 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Animation's very
Should we
weird.
move on?
Animation is weird.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
like
it.
there's not really much we could do here, right?
Yeah.
Everything is like either in rivals that you do, or you could try out like perform some pixel animation, bob the face a little bit, fix the orb itself, and
More layers,
yeah.
shift things around, cheat.
Yeah.
maybe add some cheeks, make it cute. I don't know.
And ambient lighting.
Ambient lighting, I guess. Yeah. Maybe like
Yeah,
a fake transparent lighting outside.
Apparently the center of it is supposed to be semi-transparent, but GIFs don't support semi-transparency, so they couldn't do that. Hence the white
Yeah.
background.
I don't know if if APNG works.
It does.
APNG is animated PNG. I'm not sure if Discord supports it or OBS supports it. I have to check if that works. Alright.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
yeah, it's a circle.
It's a circle. He really do be floating though. All right, on to our last submission.
Yay.
We got the correct one for this one because you submitted this twice, and on the second one you requested us to use the updated one, so we're doing that.
Yeah, that's like three of the same submissions.
Yeah. Just rule of thumb for people: if you're wanting an animation to be replaced, just delete the one from before.
Yeah, and mention you have a previous submission.
Yes.
Otherwise, we could say it's like, oh, it's a new submission. It might go
Yeah.
to the next one, even though it was actually from before. So, yeah.
Oh, responding to somebody in chat, I don't think they've covered Micah before because I made.
Why would we cover Michaelich?
Hey, check out this animation I made. Praise me.
Yeah.
I didn't make the one on the screen. Don't worry.
Yeah. Like, what a power move from Geek that would be if we featured him on the stream and he submitted something for review and we had to compliment him to his face on stream and you guys had to watch us do it.
Hey.
God, that sounds like some stuff I would do. Just see, that's why we can't have Squally on the stream, because he'll submit something for Vil, and we just got to be like, it's pretty good, man.
Just act like he isn't there.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway, back on the subject.
yes,
Again.
we have fun here.
Should I start this up or do you want to do?
I'll I'll actually start off on this one.
Go.
This animation, I love the weight of this. Right, each foot feels like it got some like weight to it. Like it's slamming onto the goddamn ground. It's really impactful. Remember when we were talking about the whole Papyrus thing about the shoulder turn? Yeah, this is a good example. This is a really good shoulder turn for this running animation. I would probably say that the biggest critique that I have right now is how the hair is moving. And
hair or a hat?
It's hair. There was some
hair.
Yeah, it's hair.
I thought I was a pirate hat. Oh my god.
Yeah, hair indeed like gets pushed back by wind, so you should make that be reflected to that. I know it kind of goes off model, but that it does make it look more of hair than less of a hat, because then hair has little to no weight to it. Like it's pretty light. It's hair, right? So when you're running, your hair is gonna move back with the wind that you're running through, and it's just gonna go backwards. You should probably have the hair follow that at least a little bit, not like a lot where it's just got like a turbine is just blowing you in the face. Don't do that. That's kind of excessive. But just a little bit of a curve that'll show that it's actually like bending to the wind. Mm-hmm. That would be my critique for this.
I don't know how to start the sentence. I can talk. The only criticism I have, besides the hair thing's far already, the back-facing arm kind of snaps forward a little bit, which does lend to the motion really well. But I think there should be at least a little bit of a lead up to convey the arm just like pumping more instead of just snapping to place.
Oh yeah.
Darn it! You both pointed out the one I'm going.
Stole content from you. Other than those two little things, I would consider this a flawless animation. Unless Wish already found something too. Speaking of which, Wish, do you have anything to add? I'll take that as a no. They're muted. Sorry. Yeah. Is that it?
Jeez. My headphone's dead.
Oh. Welcome back.
I can't hear anything.
Oh no! She's been deafened.
Oh boy. It's kind of trippy, like, the more you look at the left leg, it repeats. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's just an animation trick.
Yeah, just copy and paste the leg and then put it, like, shifted around a couple pixels and then boom, you got it. The other.
Yeah, like, here's just, like, a pro tip for everybody. You don't gotta do all the extraneous stuff with pixel art or animation in general. There's nothing wrong with cutting corners. You just gotta be able to hide it.
Yep.
Like that for like copying layers, copying points of things, splicing things together. Like all that's fine. You just need to go back and, you know, retouch the animations that you got. And just be able to visualize it a lot better. Well, hide that it's there. Like it's still pixels on a screen. Your job as an animator is to make it look like it's an actual like motion going on. As long as it looks good. Do not use that as life advice. You can cut corners as long as you can hide it. I mean...
Especially if you're working in construction.
Or woodworking.
No. Oh my god.
Imagine making some food, but you gotta cut corners, so you gotta hide it. Gotta improvise. But
God, that reminds me of the Chrysler building in New York, I think.
Oh god.
oh man.
Like, it looks perfectly stable until, like, they realize it's, like, impervious to... It's not impervious to wind, and it might collapse anytime soon.
Oh yeah, because it was just kept on getting.
Overnight. Oh my god.
Oops.
We got the animator in the chat. I mean, I saw you in here before. Hey, the animator does the motion for the fur trim look good. Yeah, it looks great.
It's lovely.
I thought that was neon. But then it looks good.
Yeah, it's looks pretty great, man. You did a good job on it. Like, that's why we didn't like really comment on the motion of like the clothing, because the bagginess of the clothes and then like how the trim is moving, look, it's phenomenal. I love how you illustrated that. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Oh my god, you can actually tell like where the which leg is the front leg because they added an outline between. Like one step, it's like it's actually showing a line between the back of them, and then
You just saw that?
I mean, like, I didn't pay much attention to it. I'm just pointing that out because, like, on some of the other walk animations, there wasn't really much to define which leg was what.
Yeah.
Here, it's like clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that means I was looking at his butt. Don't think about it.
Hey, sometimes you gotta animate those places. Like, it's
It's important. They're leg joints.
we got haha butt in the chat.
Buttercup actually followed their advice and added the little head bump.
Oh yeah. Should we put that on screen?
Yeah, just to show it off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show it off.
Yeah.
Let me get the file for this. Because that was pretty fast on that one.
Hey, it's pretty simple, but like, okay.
Like I thought you'd like sleep on it or something like that, and it was like, okay, I'll do it in the morning. Like, no, you just went for it, and like, look how much better that looks.
Yeah.
Also, what do you call this? I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, never mind. The gameplay is based on Carmine from Eunice.
Oh, that's nutty. Oh, that's nutty.
I don't know what that means.
Carbine in Eunice, if I remember correctly, that's the blood guy, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, that's super nuts. That's like manipulating your well, in Eunice, Carbine uses his blood, which is actually his like life meter, to be able to do attacks. And like you get reward for it by like landing certain attacks and whatnot, but if you just keep throwing out blood moons, you're just draining more and more of your health. You don't get that health back by like landing certain attacks. He's not like a leech or anything. He just does more damage by using his blood, and it reflects from his life meter.
That's cool. I like that.
Oh, it's super crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that mains Carmine, so I got hit with a lot of nutty shit.
Oh yeah, we can do a side by side.
I mean, I would, but like, okay, actually, I can. Let me, because I saved it. Yeah, I saved it in the chat. Like the guy, Buttercup saved it both under the same name, which is great, right? I like that because that means updating these things are a lot easier. Also, it makes archiving these things a little more difficult because it's the same file, so it overwrites it. But it's fine. I can still do it. See, there it is. Look at him. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. Okay. Okay, we got a side-by-side comparison. We got over here over here we got the first animation, and over here we got the new animation. Slightly. There we go. Yeah. It's
See, this
I'm-
is just a small adjustment to the head bob.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah. I think they added a little bit of subpickling to the legs too.
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. So
Oh, I did not notice that.
It needs a little bit of like smoothing out, but that's like one frame. Like it's literally just one frame of smoothing that out, and you've got it, man.
like personally, I have no criticism. This is a flawless animation. I would be fine seeing this in game, and I would not notice anything weird about it.
Exactly.
Which is really all you need for an animation in a game.
Yeah. You don't be like Sprite Star and just do dumb shit just for the sake of doing dumb shit.
Yeah, like remaking the same fucking character.
Yeah, I know, nuts, right?
I know, right? It's quite nuts. Both of us just looks at Geek.
Sweats. But yeah, those are all the animations that was submitted in. Well, rather the submissions that we picked out for our first batch. Well, rather, it's like our what, second batch for these?
Yeah, and then, like the next one should be the last one.
Yeah, it should be the last batch. Please don't submit like
Before
seven.
we're caught up.
Don't submit like 70 things. Come on, man. Like
We'll never get caught up.
I got finals to do, man. Come on. But in all seriousness, thank you everybody for joining on the stream. Thank you for everybody that submitted these submissions, and I hope you guys got in a lot of good information out of these streams. We'll still be trying to keep on task on making sure this is a weekly podcast instead of a monthly podcast. No, I will take back that comment as soon as something comes up. But yeah, thank you everybody.
Remember to shine your way and reach your dreams. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple.